Well, congratulations on downloading your checklist. This is going to be a tremendous resource for you to go through and identify some key areas that need improvement in your online marketing. So I'm going to go through this with you step by step, and I highly recommend that you print this out or have it on the corner of your screen. Just an easy way that you can access it as we go through this and keep track of where you're at and where your progress is. So as we see, this is a 35-point checklist that helps you get your internet marketing right. Now, this is very, very important that, don't take this lightly. Go through it very seriously. And when you're done, I think you'll be very, very amazed at the high level view that you now have of your current online marketing. So just getting started here, the first question, quite obvious, do you have a website? Now, this is a simple yes or no answer here. Moving forward, I'm going to be using this website here. This is actually a brand new client of ours. They just came on board. We're going to be helping them out with their website, helping them out with their SEO and other online marketing channels to help them get more business and overall just get their online marketing right. So the things we want to check now that we know, here's our website. Now we want to check and see if it's mobile friendly. So I've got a link here. It's really easy to access. It's bit.ly/website-friendly. So you're just going to come over here and you're going to paste this in here, and it's going to take you right to Google's mobile friendly test. Now this is just a real simple test. You just paste the URL of your website in here and run a search. And when you do that, it'll tell you actually whether your website is mobile friendly and if it's loading properly on mobile devices. Now, it takes a few minutes for the sake of the video. I'm not going to sit here and watch it load for 3 minutes, but when you go through this, it's going to tell you a simple page is mobile friendly or page is not mobile friendly, and it's going to show you an idealization of what it'll look like when it renders on a mobile device. Most people are going to be on their phones, and this is extremely, extremely important that your website loads correctly on phones, because if they're going to call you and your website's not loading properly and they have to zoom in or something to see the phone number, they're not going to call. So incredibly important. If you've had your website built in the last 5 years, the odds are it most likely will be correct. But maybe it's been about 10 years since you've had your website updated. Most likely you're going to have a lot of trouble loading on a mobile device. So this is very, very important. The next big question here is your website fast? Now, not only do we know that Google favors websites that load very, very quickly and will actually discourage rankings for websites that load slowly, but if a customer comes onto your website and it takes 20, 30 seconds to load, they're not going to stick around. They're going to back out. They're going to go to your competitor. They're going to go to another website that's going to provide what they're looking for. So very, very important as well. Same thing. You just paste your URL in here, and these are not my tools. These are actually tools from Google. As you can see at the top here, it's developers.google.com. Google will actually give you all the tools you need to help improve your website for search content. So again, you just paste it in here and hit analyze. For the sake of time, just to explain it really quick, it rates your website on a scale of 0 to 100. So 100 being it loads absolutely perfect. 0 to 10 means it's loading impossibly slow and it's a terrible, terrible speed. So you want to be over 85. If you're over 85, you're in the top percent. Over 90 is perfect. If you're over 90, big thumbs up. Kudos to you guys. You've got a great website and you're getting fast load times for your potential customers. So just moving past that, now that we know our website's mobile friendly, checking the basic boxes, how many phone calls are you getting per month from your website? Do you have a way to track this? The easiest and best way to track this is by using a tracking number or a dynamic insertion number. This is a number that's displayed on your website when people make a phone call, and it enables you to track and record where your phone calls are coming from. The next section here is your website optimized for conversion? So conversion means is a visitor coming to your website and being converted into a lead or a customer. So we want to make sure that we've got some great trust signals. You want to have your phone number front and foremost at the top right of every page, and you want to be using authentic images. You don't want to be using stock images. You want to be using images of you, of your crew, your equipment, your trucks, maybe even your office, a photo of your team, anything to build that trust and credibility and set yourself apart. Identify your personality and show that to the customer. Help them earn their trust to help them do business with you. And do you have a compelling call to action after every section? So as you can see, when I come on this site, they do have this right. They've got their phone number at the top right, and they've got a call to action immediately right here. Call for free estimate. Now, of course, this website needs a lot of help, but they do have a call to action right underneath that first section. You scroll down. It doesn't look like there's any more call to action. So very, very important to always have a call to action. Get a quote. Call now. Schedule service, whatever it is, whatever your call to action is, you want to make sure that that customer is being presented that after every section on your website. So now that we know that we've got a website, it's mobile friendly, it's loading quickly, it's compelling, it's offering people call to action so that when they come on the website, they're inclined to move forward with whatever it is. We want to make sure that now we're starting to show up. We want to make sure we're optimized for search. So is your website optimized for search? And one of the first things we want to check is for rankings in the search engines. And does your title tags have the main keyword on each page of your website? The easy way to find this out, if you don't have to log in the website or do anything, all you do is hover over the tab. If you see my mouse, hover over the tab on the top left, and it'll pop up what's called the title tag. Now, this is the number one thing that you need to tell Google what you are trying to rank for. So here, the title tag in this example, Septic Services, Jacksonville, Florida, A1 Septic Service. So this isn't the worst, but I would argue that the main keyword is not necessarily septic services, but actually septic tank pumping, because their main focus, their main service is pumping. So septic tank pumping should be there. Just a slight modification, septic tank pumping in Jacksonville, Florida. Florida spelt out, A1 Septic Service. So that would tell Google, this very slight modification, it would tell Google that not only do they offer septic service, that can be a myriad of different things, but it's specifically they're trying to show up for septic tank pumping. Very, very important. And then Jacksonville, Florida as well, we're telling Google where we want to show up. So that's great. Do you have pages for each of your core services? So you want to make sure that you got a page for every single one of these services. So we got septic pumping, drain fluid repair, inspection, but I know from our conversations, I know that they also do grease trap pumping. They do system installation. It's not a front and foremost service, but they've got probably 10 to 15 different services that they offer. And you want to have a page for each one of those services. You don't want to just list them on the home page and be done with that. You want to make sure that you have pages for each one of your services. Very, very important. Another set of pages you need to have is pages telling Google where you do all these services. So we need to have a page for Jacksonville, Florida. We're going to have a page for Orange Beach, have a page for each one of those subdivisions and areas around Jacksonville that's within their 30-40 mile service area. So when we're done with this, we've got pages telling Google what we do. We've got pages telling Google where we do it. So very, very informative to Google and helps us rank much better. And each one of those pages need to have unique content. So if all the pages just say the same thing, copy and paste, but the title tag and the title of the pages are different, that's not good enough. We want to have full, unique, written content on each one of the pages to give Google the information, the authority, content that it's looking for. And this is going to drastically help us optimize for search. That could be an entire video all of its own, those 3 things I just mentioned. A lot more things we can do. But after all this, we want to see if we're ranking. So we want to make sure that we're ranking when a customer searches your town septic tank pumping. So Jacksonville septic tank pumping. This is very, very easy to do. Just simply make a search. And as you can see, I'm not seeing A1 in the top 3. Let me scroll down a little bit, and I'm not seeing them. And there they are right there. So they're listed about number 5 or number 6 in the organic search results. I'm going to cover Google My Business later, but as you can see from a quick search, we can see they're not ranking in the top 3 in the first and foremost. So we know there's room for improvement there. The next question is, are you consistently creating content, blogging, and creating new inbound links back to your website? So there's a lot to cover there. I'm just going to break it down in a nutshell. If you're constantly creating new content on your website, Google's going to see you as what's called an authority. They're going to see you that you're working on your website. You're not just a dormant site that's been sitting for 5 years. And Google wants to show good information. That's its entire premise of Google, is to show good information. So just in your local area, if you're constantly updating your site with better blogs, better pages, it improves your rankings. Inbound links back to your website improves your rankings tremendously. So this is, for example, let's say if A1 decided they want to sponsor a local event, and they got a link from that local event's website to them, and that would show Google that this other local site raises their hand and says, A1 Septic Service Jax.com is a good site. We want to vote for them. And this will in turn build your rankings in the search results and help you show up for this search I just made, different keywords like this. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Google Maps. Have you optimized for Google Maps? Now, Google Maps is this section right here. This is where, by and large, most of the searches that turn into phone calls come from. They come right here in this what's called the 3-pack. And then you click more businesses. As you can see, there are a myriad of competitors that are listed here. So it's very, very important that you are showing up in this top 3, or what's called the 3-pack. You're going to hear me reference it as the 3-pack. The number one way to get started in this is to find your Google My Business listing. So this is how you actually can control the information that Google shows about you. And if you haven't claimed it, claim it. The number one way if you're not familiar with this, Google your business name and the phone number. So I'm just going to copy this phone number here, and I'm going to search A1 Septic Service, and then I'm going to paste the phone number. And then you go to Maps. So it says it's not, oh, I copied the phone number wrong. I was very confused by that, because I know for a fact they have a listing. So if that doesn't work, try searching the city name along with it, and there you go. So this is what we're looking for right here. So as you can see on the top and the right side, this is your Google business listing. So if you don't have access to it, it'll say claim this business, and that's what you want to do. So as you can see, there's some work to be done, but you want to make sure that you have access to this, because then you can start doing photo uploads. You can complete your profile setup and do some different things that will affect the way you rank in Google. So the next question is, are you listed on at least 70 of the top directory listings with consistent, correct data? So this is actually how Google ranks. This is very, very simple way to understand. Is essentially, we mentioned those different websites that are linking back and acting as votes. Google looks at the same way with directory listings. So if you're listed consistently on Yelp, Apple Maps, Foursquare, all these different sites, yellowpages.com, if you're listed on all these different sites, Google sees, hey, these guys are listed on all these different sites. They've got all these links or votes pointing to their site. They deserve to rank better. We can trust this site because all these other sites are trusting them. So it is very, very important that you're listed on the top 70 directory listings. This will actually help you rank better into the map pack. Of course, it's not a magic bullet, but when you do all of these things right, that's when you start to really, really rank well. So do you have more reviews than your competitors? And I'm going to go back again here to this listing. As you can see, there's 44 reviews on this site. But when I search septic tank pumping Jacksonville, as you can see, they have more reviews, but their reviews overall are not that great. Now, this is a big company. They do a lot of business every day, but unfortunately, they don't have any way to proactively improve their reviews. So only the bad reviews are coming in right now. And this tends to be a common thing in the septic industry, unfortunately. So as you can see, they've got 44 reviews. The number one rating guy is 85, but look how good his reviews are. That's not a coincidence. 4.5 star reviews. And I don't see anybody else that has that high of a review score. These ones do, but this looks like a well drilling company. So as you can see, Google looks at that, and I have no doubt that when A1's review, when this goes from 3 to 4.5 stars, I have no question that they're going to be ranking very, very well. They don't have a proactive strategy in place at the moment. So this is a really, really good way to take a look at this and see how the natural formation of rankings starts working with the review system. So it's very, very important that you not only have more reviews than your competitors, but it's very, very important that you have higher ratings than your competitors. That's where it's really, really going to start paying off for you. So what we also want to look at is that proactive strategy for getting more reviews. Basically, in a nutshell, what this is after every job is completed, you want to send your customer a text and an email. Now, this is going to send to them, and it's going to automatically say, hey, thank you for your business. We hope everything went well. If you're happy, could you please leave us a review? Now, it's very, very important that they can get these emails, because it'll just build your list and your amounts of emails on your profiles and on your website. So when you have a proactive strategy like this, you're going to bury the bad reviews. Now, we know there's constantly going to be people, for sure if you're doing a lot of business, there's always going to be the people that leave bad reviews. But when there's a great, great service performed, you shake hands, you get in your truck and drive away, those people that are happy most likely will never leave a review, just because that's not something that people do out of a favor for you. You know, the septic system, that's not the sexiest part of their life. So you want to make sure that you have that proactive strategy that gets in their face. And without being harassing, over the next 2 weeks after doing business with them, you want to be asking multiple times to leave a review. Tremendous, tremendous system. And asking as well on the job is very, very important. But we've seen that when you send them an email, you got a link in the email that they can just hit that link. It'll take them straight to your Google business listing and leave a review. Very, very effective. Very, very effective. So moving on here. Are you taking advantage of paid advertising opportunities? So this is an area that's up for debate. There's many, many companies that swear by it. They say, absolutely, you're going to be running a Google Ads campaign. And then there's oftentimes the smaller companies that say, we spent a few $100s and we didn't get results. Well, if you're going to get your online marketing right, you have an overall strategy that's going to have a wide net, not going to miss any opportunities. Google Ads and Facebook and Bing Ads is absolutely a stone you cannot leave unturned. So you can, no doubt, if you're set up properly to industry best practices, you can get leads for under $10. And I see this all day, every day. It is absolutely fundamentally a very, very important strategy, but there's exceptions to the rule. You might be in a market that's extremely, extremely competitive. It's $30, $40 per click. We see it. And that at that point is really, really difficult to pull the margins correctly. So you want to make a good profit margin on that. And unfortunately, $30 to $40 per click is not possible, but that is the exception. By and large, many times, as you can see here, I've got a little tool that shows me some brief information. The cost per click here is $12.98. I argue with industry setting up an industry best practice campaign, you can pull that down significantly at under $10. So don't leave any stones unturned. That's something you want to explore, no question. What industry best practices mean, if you just set a budget and you set your campaign and you throw money at it, you're going to be paying absolute top dollar because you're not optimized and you haven't built out your campaign for efficiency, optimizing for efficiency. So you want to make sure that you've got all your ad groups set up per keyword, one keyword per ad group, different ways like this that you can really, really lower down that cost and that bid per click. But I'm going to move on here for the sake of time. Are you active on social media to encourage word of mouth. So many times the rebuttal I hear when we discuss social media is they say, social media, I'm a septic company. How is social media going to help me? I can ask you, what is your number one form of business? So most people are going to answer, and I imagine for yourself, you're going to say, well, it's word of mouth. What is the only way that you can encourage word of mouth online? That is through social media. So do you have a social media campaign? Do you've got profiles set up on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn? Those are kind of the top three important ones that you can be sharing with people and building up a little bit of a following online. The most important thing when you're trying to encourage word of mouth is staying top of mind with your customers. So if your customers are liking your pages, they follow your posts, and they see every few days, they see a post come through with your name, they may not need your services every day, but it keeps you in their mind. So when somebody does ask them, they're not going to even stammer for a little bit and try to remember the name of the company that they hired 2 years ago to pump their septic tank. They're going to remember, oh, it's ABC Septic. Yeah, absolutely. I remember they helped us out. We were in a tight spot. So that really just can encourage that brand awareness and in turn encourage word of mouth. Very, very important. Do you have, how many likes do you have on Facebook? Facebook is arguably the third most important place to optimize your business online. So you've got your website, you've got your Google business listing, and arguably Facebook is the next most important. So you want to make sure that you got more likes than your competitors and help you increase your chances of actually showing up in the search results when somebody is searching for septic service. Are you updating your social profiles on a daily basis? So daily basis is absolute perfect world. You're making posts every day. You're getting in front of your followers. You're getting in front of the people you've done business with, and they're seeing your posts go through every day while they're scrolling through their feed. So that's perfect world. Every other day is fine as well. Either way, you're going to be, not annoying, but you're going to be there just like some of their friends they follow. They're not going to be obsessing over every single post, but they're going to see it go by, and it's going to be in their consciousness when they think of a septic service. So this is all about increasing brand awareness and helping to drive and educate your customers to encourage that word of mouth. So are you leveraging email service reminders? So postcards, they're effective, but email I found to be even more effective. Not everybody checks their junk mail. We throw away, it feels like every day. I don't know about you, if you're a business owner as well, you throw away 10 to 20 pieces of junk mail every single day. So it's easy for that postcard that you send out once every 3 to 5 years to get lost in the noise. So when you send an email to them, I recommend sending an email every 6 months at minimum. Quarterly is great, but 6 months at minimum. And so when you're sending these service reminders, at that point, 3 years after you do a service, if you send that service reminder, you've built up the trust with them. They've got emails from you every 6 months, so they've no question. They know who you are, and you're not just this random company that they don't remember doing business with. But you're following up and saying, hey, to prevent some costly problems down the road, now is the time to maintain your septic system. It's been 3 years. The timer's gone. You need to get your septic system maintained. So this is just a very, very helpful way to encourage that recurring customer, encourage those repeats. So do you have a database with your customer? I'm going to go back to this one. Do you have an automated system in place using SMS or email following up after quote requests? So this is extremely effective, and this is something that not a lot of companies are implementing yet. Some of the more successful ones are, but this is something anybody can set up with, and it's extremely, extremely effective. Just picture this for a little bit. Somebody needs their septic pump, and they want to spend as little money as possible. So they go through and they call between 5 and 8 companies to get quotes, and they find out after about the first 5 calls, they found out everybody's within $20 to $40, $50 of each other. So now they've got a whole string of business names in their head that they don't know who is who. They may have wrote down the pricing, but when it comes down to it, they realize that they just need to work with somebody they can trust. So imagine this. They call everybody, they get a quote, but then one company sends them a text right after they get off the phone. Hey, great talking to you. Let me know if there's anything else we can do or you have any more questions. This is our number in case you need anything. Take care. ABC Septic Service. Well, then you've got a little bit of a message that reminded them of who you were. And then maybe they don't make a decision right away. Maybe they wait an hour or two to decide what to do, maybe even the next day. And then they get an email from you saying, hey, let us know if there's anything else we can do to help. We're here for you. ABC Septic Service, or whatever the business name is, whatever your business name is. So now the next day, assume the problem obviously is still there, still getting worse. And that's when they say, you know what, we've got to get this done. $20 is nominal, whatever we need to do to get this done. And they've got a text from you. They've got maybe an email or two from you. Who do you think they're going to do business with? Well, they know that you're there. You're Johnny on the spot, and you're doing everything you can to build that relationship. So this is extremely effective. For sure, today, people, they want to know that they're going to be getting special treatment. They want to feel like VIPs. They want to make sure that your literally truck is idling at the end of the driveway when they've got a septic problem. I mean, we all know. So when you're Johnny on the spot like this, that really, really increases that chance of them doing business with you. And having that system in place, you can have this all completely automated. There's several different softwares that do that. Do you have a database with your customer email addresses? If you check this box, yes, you are literally sitting on a gold mine. Leverage that database to get those customers coming back to you. So when they have a service, when they need service, very, very important that you can be following up with them on a quarterly or 6-month newsletter, just in reminding them and informing them that you did business with them and you're willing to do whatever they need help with their septic system again. So very, very important to be leveraging that. Are you leveraging those emails to get online reviews and to draw customers into your social media profiles? So that speaks for itself. I'm not going to go deep into the online reviews and social media again. And lastly here, do we have the proper tracking in place to gauge your ROI, to gauge your return on investment? So again, I mentioned the tracking numbers on the website. We want to make sure that we are connected with Google Analytics. Google Analytics will tell you exactly who your people are visiting your website, how many searches you have per month, how many visitors on your website. It's some different really, really helpful information to help you see how your marketing is doing. So if you can imagine, maybe you're spending money on Google Ads, maybe you're spending money on SEO, or maybe you hired a marketing company to do your marketing. You need to basically have a yardstick to compare. So when you're connected to Google Analytics and you start doing business with a company that does your marketing, you can see, okay, month 1, how many visitors did my website jump? Month 2, did my visitors jump again? Do we see a trend? Is it a downturn? All these things are very, very helpful with you to see how your marketing dollars are performing. Keyword ranking tracking is very, very simple. As you can see, I made a search for septic tank pump in Jacksonville. There's a myriad of rank trackers out there. You want to make sure that you're tracking if your business is moving up in the ranks. You should always be moving up. You never want to be moving down. Even staying the same is virtually the same as moving down, because you need to be moving up. There's a lot of studies that say the top 3 companies are the only ones that people actually call looking to do business with, because past the top 3, very, very few people actually click past that. I mentioned call tracking again. Very, very important. How many customers for example, if you got your website and maybe you've got a billboard in town that you're paying $500 for a month, how many customers came from that builder and how many came from your website? You need to be able to track that to identify not only places that are performing really well that you should maybe be investing some more money in, but some areas maybe you're spending money in a place that's really not getting you any calls. Maybe it's time to start tracking that yellow page, full page ad that you've been paying for the last 15 years that is literally driving no calls to your business, but yet it's still there just in case. So it's very, very important that you use those tracking numbers wisely. I highly recommend callrail.com. This is a great resource Very cheap as well. For literally 10 to 20 bucks a month, you can be given up to 10 numbers to start tracking these different services and start tracking these different sources. Finding out where your customers came from. And lastly, do you have a CRM? A customer relations management tool. So this is very important as well to keep track of your customers. Many people just use a spreadsheet, and there's really nothing wrong with that, but you're not going to be able to leverage some of the things I've talked about. For example, the email reminders, leveraging the SMS follow-ups upon quote request, different things like that. There's CRMs that can help you. If you don't have anything in place, reach out to me. I can point you some great resources. We currently are using a software called Go High Level, and I highly recommend it for your company. You can automate all the things I discussed with this for a very, very reasonable price. So I hope this has been informative. Hope this has made sense. And if you have any questions, reach out to me. Be more than happy to discuss this with you. But if you really like to move a little quicker through this, I invite you to schedule a strategy session with us. I'll actually sit down with you, me or one of our team members will sit down with you, look at your website, look at your current online marketing strategy, and help you identify some areas that need improvement and give you a clear plan of action on what your next steps should be to get your internet marketing right.